A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hunters channel. Today in this episode, I have my guest today, Mr. Davyn De Bruyn from Parramatta Mission.
Thank you very much for having me, Ramesh.
Thank you so much for coming, Davyn. It's a pleasure to have you in our podcast. Davyn, tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Parramatta Mission.
In terms of the nature of the work that we do at the mission, we work with people on the margins in the community. They might be experiencing a crisis, they might be homeless, they might be at risk of homelessness, and we really act as a first point of contact to engage with the community, connect with them, understand their situation and their issue, and then work to turn that around as quickly as possible through our services.
Davyn, how did Parramatta Mission come to existence?
It's a really cool origin story. Parramatta Mission is part of the Uniting Church, and it came into existence a little over 50 years ago, back in 1971, where a congregation member had noticed the increase in homelessness within Parramatta, and literally just wanted to provide a meal for someone who was homeless. That was the genesis of it.
Oh, that's very nice.
It was and then it just grew over the next 50 years, where until as recent as 2021 we were actually a mostly government-funded service operating some 77 contracts around Greater Western Sydney in homelessness services and mental health. We're much smaller now. We transitioned away the government-funded services and just retained our Parramatta local community services. But yeah, it's been quite the journey.
That's nice. The stories of something like, Parramatta Mission done that impact some of the cases that you guys been looking after.
We operate a community centre really at the heart of Parramatta there in Macquarie Street. Okay. And the primary service that we operate is called Meals Plus. And it is what it says it is. It's the meal, which we use as a means of engaging and connecting with our community. So we operate Monday to Friday, we serve breakfast and lunch, and that's really what allows us to engage with the local community, to build trust, to go on the journey with them. Because trust, is the currency with which you get anything done in today's world. And so, who are our guests, who are our clients? It's people like you and me. People, ex-bank managers, lawyers, people with PhDs, teachers. They were up here at one point, and through a difficult situation, a crisis, a relationship breakdown, a loss of a job, they found themselves down here. A big part of what we do there is the listening, but then I guess one of the stories that really motivates me in terms of why I'm there was this beautiful lady, Lisa. Lisa had a challenging upbringing. She was a victim of sexual assault from a young age. She had become a drug user. As a result, she had a mental health condition as well. And Lisa held the record for the most number of complaints down Macquarie Street from local businesses and bystanders to the police. And I think it was 34.
So she was homeless and she was on the road.
She was homeless on the road. She had a drug issue, a mental health condition, and that resulted in all sorts of behaviour that we consider to be untoward. But she would always come back to the mission, and we would always be there to clothe her, to feed her, to work with her to try and get accommodation for her. But one day she came to us and she said, "You know what? I don't want this anymore. I don't want this for my life." And that's all we needed to hear, because we say we don't walk in front of people so that they get lost. We don't walk behind them and push them to where we think they need to be. We walk alongside them.
We support them. We hold their hand.
Exactly, until they're ready to make the decisions. And so when she said that, okay, we said, let's do it. We managed to reconnect her with her family. There was reconciliation there with the family. She checked herself into a rehabilitation clinic, started seeing a psychologist to get her mental health managed. We managed to get her housed. And as of today, she's been clean for 6 years. She's a warehouse manager. She'll often still come back to the mission to check in and see how we're doing. But just an incredible story of transformation. Her mental health, still there, it's still managed. The addictions and the challenges, they're still there, but she's been clean for 6 years. But that whole journey took 4 years of up and downs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chances. But we never refused to stop working with people.
It's amazing, and it could happen to anyone. Like any time, like you feel down or you come across a trouble or a problem or obstacle in your life, and you will need someone to hear you.
100%. I think that's the thing that humbles me every day. I'm like, I see these people and I engage with them, and I'm like, That could easily that could be me, that could be you. And when you actually hear their stories, a lot of them, like I said, high flyers, CEOs of organizations. One guy had a mansion in Vaucluse. When I heard this story, I couldn't believe it, and just hearing about the relationship breakdown and how he went from here to here. And you can just imagine what that does for confidence, for someone's self-worth and belief. And to get back up to here, oh man, it's like, and you know, the stigma is like, just get a job, just you know, make it happen. It's like, oh, when you hear these people, what they've been through, it's much easier to say than do.
Yeah, it's really hard. But you're very lucky. Like, your job is very rewarding. When you see someone, like, you know, just changed his life from looking at being on the road, on drugs, alcoholic, and you find them successful, and walks back to you and say, hey, look, you know, you changed my life. It's amazing and rewarding. How can people get involved and help you in your job?
That's a great question, and thank you. And so something like this, as far as raising awareness is concerned, is so helpful, because we've been around in the community for, as we said, over 50 years, and some people still don't know that we're there, both from a support standpoint, but also as just you know, an organization that also needs support in that sense. So raising awareness is something we're seeking to do, and really engaging in the corporates and the local community members for additional support. So there's a variety of ways that people can get involved. The organization is actually mostly volunteer-led. So one of my favorite ways to engage our corporate partners is actually through a program that we call a sponsored lunch. So a sponsored lunch is where you and your team of, say, 5 or more people will literally come and run Parramatta Mission for the day. You'll get there at 8, you'll hear a bit of a speech from Paul about the work we do and why we do it. You'll then prepare the food, you'll get the barbecue out, you'll get the meal going, you'll set up the whole gig for the day, and then you will actually serve the community. You will serve our guests, you'll get to build relationships, meet them, hear stories. And that, as an experience, is transformational, both for our guests, but also for the corporates who come and do it with us. And then afterwards we do a debrief, and you just hear the stories of, I didn't know, I didn't understand, the kind of revelations that people had. Recently we've just had a great partnership with HSBC. Anthony Shaw, the CEO from HSBC, brought his executives to come and run one of these, and was just blown away by it. He himself has an incredible story, but he's like, we want to get on board and support this. So subsequently they've had 6 of their teams book in sponsored lunches and come and experience it themselves, because that helps us both from a volunteering standpoint. There's a $2,000 donation that's made to the mission as well. That's the cost to run the program for the whole day. And then it also creates awareness and addresses the stigmas that we're looking to work with. So but if people just want to get involved individually, they can volunteer. If you just go to our site, there's a place where you can just click the link there and register to volunteer. And another big way is, I guess, through Mission Mates. Being unfunded, a big support is through regular sort of giving. So by becoming a mission mate, for as much as $5 a week, you can help us provide a meal for someone to build that relationship with that person in the community. So yeah, and then obviously doing things like food drives. Food's our biggest cost component, understandably. So doing a food drive on our behalf with your business or your local community is great. Things like this, podcasts helping us raise awareness.
What would be some of the challenges or obstacles that faces Parramatta Mission?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ramez. I think, like any organization, we all face challenges and obstacles. I think those are there to actually help us grow and become better, but some of the recent ones is obviously we had COVID, which was a huge challenge, and the lockdowns.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I can imagine you guys would be so busy during this period of time of the COVID, getting some meals and toilet paper. Did you have issue with the toilet paper?
We did indeed. We had guests coming, do you have any toilet paper? I was like, sorry, we're out ourselves. We're having to go Adam and Eve style and use leaves.
We done that as a business during COVID.
What, purchase toilet paper for organizations?
We purchased toilet paper for some of our landlords and some of our vendors that they elderly and they can't go to shopping. You know, because the old people, they were so scared to go to shopping.
Yeah.
And like we like, you know, we used to call them in, like, you know, every week, like, what do you want? They send us the list of what they want, and the team, especially the young guys that we have in the business, they get out, do the shopping for them and deliver it.
You guys are amazing.
And it was so good, like very rewarding, and it's just something good. You have a lot of satisfaction from doing something useful to the community.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, in the Bible, Jesus says it's more blessed to give than to receive, and that I always thought that was like a nice throwaway line. But actually, when you start living it, you start to realize that when you give, you receive so much more back, both tangibly and intangibly through that process.
Very true.
And that's why, you know, through all the philanthropy of the corporates and the giving, to see them come alive is just so encouraging. But yeah, look, challenges. We had to move our whole model because, you know, the meals is sit down, and that's how we build community, and that's how we, you know, get people out of isolation, because that's the biggest causes of mental health is loneliness and isolation. So now we went to lockdown, which sent the mental health issues through the roof, but we remained open, but we adapted it to become a takeaway model. So that was challenging, but it meant we could still connect. We were doing a lot more home deliveries and reaching out to people, calls to check in and hear how they were going. So we had to adapt. Whilst all that was happening, all the construction was going on around Parramatta, because I don't know if you've been recently, but just everywhere, between the light rail and the buildings and just construction everywhere. So continually the service is being disrupted, and the noise, and, you know, like everyone else is having to put up with, but, you know, you find ways around it. So there's been challenges there, and then just recently, obviously, with the cost of living crisis, you know, we've seen, I think, around a 30% increase in people looking to access and engage our service. Obviously, the costs, because we run it ourselves and we're unfunded, we're paying for the food, so the costs have increased. So the demand for the work has increased, the cost to do the work has increased, but also the ability for people to support has reduced.
Decreased,
so last year was one of our most challenging years, fundraising, and we've had to sort of adapt the service to make sure we can still remain open and serve the community. So those have been a number of the challenges we've kind of faced over the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's why, like, raising awareness of what you do, because you need more resources, you need more people to contribute and help. I think that will be a bit of it's a challenge, but also you can manage it. You can, like, get, you know, people to help in a
100%, and that's the beautiful thing. Our vision is a community transforming lives. It's not Parramatta Mission transforming lives. It's a community. It's business. It's the local members and the politicians and philanthropists and individuals with the heart to give back. Like, we are just like a small player in the ecosystem of everyone. This idea of that the best life is found in giving back, and that's what I love. Is as the awareness grows, the response is always humbling. Like meeting yourself and being like, we want to give, we want to support, we want to get involved, and just that gives me hope.
Yeah. Because
there's days where you're like, geez, are we, you know, is this, are we doing what we're hoping we're doing? Are we having the impact? Can we still do this? Like there's some dark days. As rewarding as it is, there's some challenging ones, and then we'll meet someone like you who'll be like, I want to hear about your work and I want to support it, and it's just like, oh, thank you, Lord.
Look, so the public can come and can help. Individuals, they can donate $5 or something that can help. Do you need people to come and help serve food, drop food? Look,
100%. Yeah, look, as mentioned, volunteers is a big part of what we do. Something I didn't actually mention, an exciting project that we're busy launching is our Pathways program. Okay. So we've got the meal that builds the trust and the relationship. We've got the community hub, which helps take care of the mountains and the roadblocks. But now the Pathways program is a program that we've put together to assist people, get back into work, get jobs, get skilled, and get the resources they need to really help them take their next step to getting back on their feet. And that's what we're working with at the moment. So we're looking at partnering with corporates to find, ways where we can work with local corporates to get people placed in jobs once they've been trained and skilled, and really work with our partners in that regard. So that's a very exciting initiative that we're launching. We've had some very generous philanthropic supporters who've seen that, they've loved the vision, and they've backed us. So that's the next phase of where the vision's going, and to have the community continually come and ask questions, and as I say, come and see, come and experience, come and see it for yourself. Like I can say some nice words and what have you and tell some stories, but when you experience it
when
for
you
yourself.
experience it, it's completely different.
100%. And then I don't have to say anything more.
Yeah, yeah. So we would like to invite the local community, and we invite the local businesses. It doesn't have to be Parramatta. Anywhere, like in the Western Sydney.
Got lots of people from the hills, from all over the place.
And we would like to today just give you a small donation to Parramatta Mission, and it's just something simple from our business to give back to the community that they always support our business. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So we made the decision with my team last month, and we said we're gonna have part of our income to the business, and we're gonna have it to charities and to people that they need it. The best way to pay back to the community, not marketing ourselves. We spend like fancy marketing here and here. Thank you very much for your service and for the opportunity that you give people to help. God bless your service.
God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.